one of the things about Disney's Speedstorm is that when it was announced, I guess at D23 last year, there were no real trailers for it. And even what was seen afterwards, you didn't see any in-game gameplay. So that trailer you just saw was pretty much all we had to go in until the game released a few months ago. And even then, it was only announced or only released in a format where it was like a founders pack. So it was like $39.99. Now with the free-to-play now open, I wanted to test drive this to see what it was like. Now, having a Disney kart racer on paper sounds absolutely amazing. The world of Disney, running through cars with all of your favorite characters in all the different worlds. I really want to play in a Tron world, personally speaking, because Tron is awesome and just lends itself to racing, especially with the light cycles. Here we start off the game with Mickey, of course. You know, if you're going to start off a Disney racing game is with one character, it has to be Mickey. So with that, you're riding around. I believe this is based on Hercules. The level itself is a pretty good recreation of this. Is the opening of the game where they give you a tutorial. So if you've never raced a kart racer before, you know, I don't know where you've been in the past 30 years, but it'll teach you how to do it. I do like the what's it called? Drifting aspect of it, which is actually pretty cool. It can come in handy doing races. As you'll see as we go through, the drifting does come in handy, especially in those tight corners, and especially when you're bunched up with other characters. It does give you a little bit of boost speed, and that you aren't braking to go around a curve and losing speed at the same time as well. One of the things that I guess I didn't like overall, this is a pretty generic kart racer with Disney on it. I think that after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's hard for any company to do an innovative kart racer. You know, it's one of those things like when you have such a good product that's been done, it's hard to top it or even match it, which is what many of these kart racers try to do, because frankly they're not touching Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The only thing that's going to touch Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to be Mario Kart 9 whenever that comes out. But the races in this go by pretty quickly. I was actually very surprised. Sometimes it seemed at first it seemed like it wasn't going as fast. But then next thing you know, the races were pretty much complete. And here we go. We started our second race with Mickey. We won the first race. You saw that Meg and Donna were there. I have to say I'm not overly impressed with the character models. I understand that this is a game that's on multi-platforms, including mobile. So you have to really go toward the lowest common denominator, which is going to be mobile devices. And I think that really, it suffers in that regard. I was looking at this, and especially later on in this footage, you'll see more of a fuller in-game Mickey, not just him at the garage, was going to see as well, which I thought the garage aspect was pretty cool. The character model reminds me, let me phrase that. The character model is a little bit better than the character models for Mickey from Epic Mickey 2 and Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era. So with that, I wasn't overly impressed with the character models. I am enjoying the levels. I think the levels are bright. Oh, I love this right here. I love the grinding, the light rail grinding. It reminds me so much of Sonic. I just thought it was a cool touch for the game, but it also is kind of weird and janky as far as how the gameplay goes, with people actually passing you or essentially going through you while you're grinding, which really shouldn't be possible, but that's how the game works in that regard. So you can lose whatever lead you have on the rails while you're grinding, but that is just as a cool mechanic. I do like the turbo boost along the way, but one of the coolest things about this game is that your boost builds up. So you don't have to get a special boost in the item box. As you go over the boost and as you go over the race, you have a boost meter that essentially increases and gives you a boost after that meter is then full. Now here we're into the garage, or I guess the character customization area, where you see there are a bunch of different costumes you can unlock for Mickey, and these racing uniforms are based on some of his classic looks. Like here, the Mickey character model is pretty cool. It's a lot more dynamic than what you see in race, but of course, he's just really blinking and kind of swaying a little bit. So there isn't a whole lot there that needs to go into it. I do enjoy the car so far. The car design is really cool. The little variation of Herbie. And I'll say, even though I don't know if it's definitely a Herbie inspired, but it's definitely a Volkswagen Bug, old school, sort of a coupe. And I love the tires. I love the colors. I just think that the car itself is just really well designed and is really well suited for a kart racing game. And you see all the different things you potentially get, from spoilers to colors to different wheels and wheel colors as well. It's definitely one where there are a whole lot of unlockables as well. And it is free to play, so you have to expect that. There are also going to be character packs and daily drops and, stuff you can pay to add to your character and car. Now here we're in Pirate Bay, obviously based off of Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm feeling this is more so based off of the ride than the movies. Well, a little bit of both, actually, especially with some of the designs. I like this level, actually. I really enjoyed racing on this one. I love the boxes. This is the first level I really felt like I was going fast. I felt the speed of this one, particularly because of how the boxes and obstacles sometimes just came out of nowhere. It's very chaotic as well because of that, and I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I got the sense of speed, I got the sense of urgency in this track of trying to win, and that was a benefit because, like I said, these tracks go by really quickly, so you don't really know. I guess I could say, as you're racing, you can lose track, no pun intended, of what lap you're on as you're going by or going through the track, because they go so quickly from level to level. And at least early on, I'm not sure if later on in the game some of the tracks are a bit longer compared to some of the earlier tracks, but we shall find out in the near future as far as that's concerned. But this level was just one that I really enjoyed playing, and I actually went back and played this level a few more times after this initial playthrough because it was just so much fun to play with it. All in all, for a free game or free to play game, I think everybody should download this, and I'm being a bit premature because we have a little bit more gameplay to go through. But as a free to play, it's pretty cool. I have yet to explore if it has a multiplayer component to it. With that, like couch co-op or whatnot. I doubt it with a game like this, but I would be pleasantly surprised if it does, because this would be a really cool game to play with your little ones if you have them, or the big kids in your house as well. And as I said before, I think we all understand how to play a kart racer. At this point in time, with Mario Kart being around forever and all the various kart racing games we've gotten over the past really 30 years or so, it's a really cool take on it. It's mediocre, but that's okay. A good kart racer or a great kart racer is really hard to really do with Mario Kart in existence. But for a free-to-play game, I enjoyed this, and I have been enjoying this game. I am not one for paying for the unlockables and things of that nature, but here you see going into the different sort of loot boxes and stuff you get. Loot boxes don't really do that, but rewards boxes that you get or can get from games, and unlocking different cards and eventually different characters and different aspects of the game as well, which would be really cool. And I like what's coming up with the daily drops as well, and that's something you see reminiscent in a lot of these live service games. So the more you play, the more free stuff you'll get. They'll drop different boxes every single day, so you play every day, you get something new. And with that, you see the characters of you get. Oh, this is what I want to play. I hope there's a Tron level that looks just like this, but this is freaking beautiful. I can't wait. So, and here we're going to get goofy in our daily box. That's it for Disney's MotorStorm.